Welcome back, Smite fans. Like I said yesterday, same time, same place for some EU Smite Console League shenanigans. My name is Tiger, joined with Aggro. And first up on the docket, Rival versus eXcellence. Now, want to get to the meat and potatoes of the matter. These teams are all fighting to go to the hi-rez expo. You don't even have to fight. You don't have to go to the lands. You don't have to fight to get there. You can just buy the tickets at hi-rezexpo.com.
And there's always discount codes available. You can look online. Even without them, it's a great deal. Make sure you guys buy your tickets. Worlds is easily the greatest time of the year for Smite fans. Make sure you come. It's going to be awesome.
It was an absolute blast coming as a spectator, so don't even worry. There's so much to see, so much to do, and now that they're adding Paladins in, going to be fantastic. But first up, like I mentioned, Rival versus eXcellence. These guys have fought each other before in Week 3 and Week 4, but Rival coming out strong in both games, 2-0 the opponent.
No surprise, really. Rival is clearly the cream of the crop in Europe, and they do have a sub today. They don't have Watson, one of their star players. It's going to be Dvizes in the middle lane, formerly known as Man Like Stacy, the sub that we saw a lot of for Retribution last split. So he does have a lot of experience. I still expect Rival to look very strong coming out against eXcellence today.
And I was crunching some numbers because you guys know I like my data. I like looking at these trends. Rival, we didn't see a lot of Fafnir prioritization yesterday, but we're going to see it today because they have played Fafnir the past 8 games we've seen, they have had Fafnir. They've played Fafnir 9 out of 12 games.
Zenborne loves Fafnir, and they've won the last 8 games that they've played it, so, why not? It's working for them. They just control objectives so well, and they use that. He does a good job of baiting himself and then transforming into the dragon, using those immunity frames to his advantage, and they just team fight so well around it. I expect to see them pick it again today if it's not banned.
Well, we'll have to see what they pick going into picks and bans for Game 1, Rival versus eXcellence. We're going to see a little bit more of a different strategy, different style coming out from the EU console players. But first up banned, Nemesis.
I mean, we've seen European teams almost start to toy with allowing Nemesis through. We saw Jaron playing a little bit. Once he moved into the jungle for Retribution, it was being let through, but Rival not wanting to give that up today.
Not quite. And I mean, that shredding with shredding the protections coming through with that ultimate, going to be absolutely ridiculous. Terra, speaking of ridiculous, banned out as well. So no sustain game, but Guan still is on the table.
Guan, Fafnir, Raijin. We've seen Rival play a ton of Raijin. Yes, that is Watson in the middle lane, and he's not here today, like I mentioned. But still, if you're going to be playing the mid lane, you should have Raijin in your god pool. He's the premier mid laner right now.
And both of these teams like playing Raijin. Ao Kuang banned out, Sol banned out, which does leave Rival's Fafnir if they want to go ahead and grab that first up. There we go.
There it is. Even over top of the Guan Yu. I'll bet you eXcellence thought we at least want to make them think about it, give ourselves a priority pick on the back end. And because of how few other teams besides Rival really prioritizes Fafnir, I'm a little bit surprised to see them go for it. But maybe eXcellence does have it and they like to run it. Instead, they're going to pick up Susano and Raijin, your mid-jungle combination. Going to be extremely strong with these two. You can be aggressive, you can poke heavily, you're also extremely mobile, and just a long-range damage from Raijin also adds a whole lot to your team comp. But this does leave Guan Yu open for Rival if they want it.
It is still open. They can pick up the Guan Yu, feed him over in Solo Island, and then get all of the sustain. But instead, going to get that Janus. Now, 50-meter fly is no stranger when it comes to Raijin, but going up against that Janus, gonna give him a little bit of a start. A
little bit of a different look. Raijin definitely has a better early game than Janus does, but Janus's early wave clear is pretty good as long as you're getting those. You're purchasing Soul Stone to start out instead of Vampiric Shroud, and making sure you're getting that passive stacked up, hitting those 5 auto attacks, and getting the extra damage on your unstable vortex. It's a decent matchup overall. You're mobile enough as Janus to not worry about Raijin as much, but it's a completely different play style overall.
I'm loving the Sun Wukong ban. Rival have kept Sun Wukong and Raven in their pockets. They've only played like 1 game that hasn't been Sun Wukong and Raven.
Yeah, 12 games. I think 11 of them are either Sun Wukong or Raven for Gnome. And here, the other game, that 12th game, was Erlong Shen.
Yep.
Wanting to ban that away here, and I think that's more because the root cripple, the pin, Erlong Shen's second ability, works so well against eXcellence's team comp right now. It really does a great job of shutting down Susano. Obviously, that mobility not going to be a factor whenever he's crippled, as well as Raijin and Athena. So wanting to make sure that Gnome doesn't get that in the solo lane for Rival.
Predator is going to be taking Tyr into the solo lane more than likely because Susano is going to be in the jungle. Athena going to be going up against that Fafnir in the duo lane.
And that's a typical, you know, we gave up Fafnir. We don't know exactly what we want to get. Let's just get some solid engage potential. Let's just get someone who can really push the pace for us and be aggressive, because that's what Athena does best. If eXcellence is able to get ahead and get a little bit of a lead, they've got so much poke potential on their team that characters like Freya and Janus don't deal particularly well with poke. They are fairly squishy, low health pools on both of those characters. You can poke them out and force them to back, and eXcellence has a great team comp to try and do that.
Yeah, but we're talking about Rival with their aggression as well, picking up Vamana and Ratatoskr. There's tons of poke coming out from Rival as well, too. But last picked up for that Athena going to be a late game Xbalanque for eXcellence.
A little bit surprised to not see Rapio go for Fenrir here. I was really thinking the Fenrir. Fenrir does very well.
Heart.
Yeah, I know you were definitely rooting for it, but Rapio
Always.
Just unbelievable on this Fenrir and does really well up against the majority of eXcellence's lineup. Does very well against Susano, against Athena as well. Xbalanque was locked in afterwards, but that is the premier food basically for Fenrir is Xbalanque. You can follow that Rising Jaguar very easily. Instead, going for this Ratatoskr gives him more mobility, gives him the global ultimate, able to crash down and make his presence known without walking over top of wards and that kind of stuff. But it doesn't give the same early game pressure that a character like Fenrir does.
Yeah, I mean, not being able to be locked down when it comes to vision is nice, but Susano is all about the bully, and we touched on this a little bit yesterday. Just being able to pull people out of tower, get a little bit of damage, and then let them get back to where they want. It's death by 1,000 cuts, and it's just being a bully, putting the pressure wherever you can.
And Dvizes did go for that Soul Stone, so he's not going to have the sustain from Vampiric Shroud to kind of deal with that bully, that mentality that you were just talking about, being able to pull him out of tower and really poke him down. I don't understand the Boots 1 start, though, here from Dvizes, and because you really do want that extra power and mana sustain from Lost Artifact or building into Doom Orb or Chronos Pendant or Rod of Tahuti. You're going to be getting one of those items as Janus eventually, so you're definitely not wasting that 600 gold on it. Instead, I guess he wants to rush the boots, but that 3% movement speed obviously not going to help you clear very well. And your rotation ability early is really, really good as Janus already, just because you've got the extra movement speed off of Threshold and through going through the portals.
Is this going to affect how hard he hits? Because normally we see Janus in the early game hit like a truck.
Yeah, it definitely will. Losing that 15 power is a pretty big deal, especially if, you know, maybe he could have gotten ahead, you get an early first blood or a kill, and then you can all of a sudden you're sitting on the Lost Artifact and you say, oh, okay, I can just get Doom Orb here instead of getting boots or something like that, really accentuating an early game power spike that Janus typically doesn't have. So electing to go for the early boots definitely does hurt his clear power early and his ability to fight early.
I like eXcellence taking these right mid harpies while Team Rival was taking the fire imps. So now there's going to be contention when it comes to these left ones as well. A little bit of poke coming onto Dvizes. Maloaise doing his job of being a good Susano, being a bully.
The only reason that I can think that you're going to go for the boots outside of rushing them overall is the extra pots that you get, the extra health and mana pots that you can buy, because it's so much cheaper. It's only 300 gold as opposed to 600, so you can buy 3 health potions and 3 mana potions, or even 4 if you want to, as opposed to only 1 of each if you're going for Lost Artifact or 2 of the same. That might be his thought process because of all the heavy poke that eXcellence have, but again, gonna hurt his early clear.
And I'm liking what eXcellence did. They're forcing Team Rival into a fight, and normally they like to get aggressive, but Dvizes has taken quite a bit of damage from Maloaise as well. Rapio forced back. Taking those right camps forces them to have to fight over the left ones, and we've seen a couple of times they've already been dancing around him. eXcellence are able to take both of these as long as they get good, but Fly going to be able to teleport right out. Thunder Crash gonna be good.
That is a lot of poke on the 50-meter Fly, and he's got no potions available. Going for this Soul Reliquary start that he seems to favor in the mid lane on Raijin. That's 1,500 gold outright. The Soul Stone into the Soul Reliquary is 1,500 gold, so he has no potions available to help sustain him.
And now, I mean, eXcellence are gonna be able to go back, take their back camps, be free to do whatever they want. It's putting a little bit of extra pressure onto Rival. The numbers aren't really big. We're only 2 minutes, 20 seconds in. The numbers don't necessarily matter, but it's starting these rotations and just having them, forcing them into these engagements. It's putting Rival off.
It's just going to be the fact that the mid lane and the jungle are going to be hitting 5 significantly before Rival's team hits 5 in the mid-jungle combination, because they were able to get both mid harpies and the fire elementals as well. That's going to be a big deal because eXcellence can now try and force an invade on the back harpies, something along those lines. Yes, they will be 5 by then, will rival, but it's still a slight experience advantage for eXcellence.
Season 3 is all about that mid and jungle synergy. With Dvizes stepping into Watson's spot, how is this going to affect Rapio?
It's tough to say. I mean, this is a player that has been around a good amount of time. Like I mentioned, he was the sub for Retribution during the last split, did come to LAN, you know, was hanging out with all the EU guys from Rival and Retribution together. So there's probably a little bit of synergy there because they have met each other. But it's still not going to be your main synergy. You know, it's still not going to be the guy you play with day in and day out during scrims and SCL games and casuals and whatever it may be. But I do expect there to be at least some level of synergy there just because they've been around for a long time.
Rapio coming in for the gank, trying to punish Predators on this tier, but Tier going to be able to heal back up, but there's the stun, there's the dash, and now they're just going to keep trying to come in, but here comes the Maloaise with the Typhoon, still looking for it, forcing out the big baby. Predators still coming through, forcing out the Lawbringer to get out of the damage Rapio was dishing out.
That was a great Lawbringer right there, using that CC immunity perfectly timed to immune the knockup. He would have been dead there. That would have been first blood for Rival had Predators not immuned that perfectly with the Lawbringer. But he was very patient, just waiting for Maloaise to come in. Maloaise just a little bit off the mark with that Typhoon, missing Rapio, allowed him to get up into that ultimate there.
As soon as they blew all those ultimates, that's when he knew that he was safe. Predators can go ahead, use the ultimate, get back into the safety of the tower because one, they've been taking some damage as well. They don't want to go ahead and get aggressive in the tower just yet. We're only 4 minutes and 30 seconds in, and they weren't going to be able to survive through it.
No, that's a really risky play, diving the tower this early, especially against a tier who has the ability to CC chain you under the tower or heal himself under the tower. Definitely not the play you want to be making. So again, great patience there from Predators, just waiting out for his jungler to get there to support him on the gank and only using the ultimate when he absolutely had to.
Zenborne on rotation, trying to take these Harpies, is going to be able to get at least one of them for his team, take them out very quickly, but now we have what we normally see at about 5 minutes, this 3v3 mid-fight action. They all store to stem right around these mid objectives, as well as buff camps, and also eXcellence have a bit of an advantage because they do have the pulls and they have the taunt.
The 3v3 fight right now definitely stronger for eXcellence just because of how much burst you can have off the Athena taunt. You can have the Storm Kata from Susano, you can have the 2-1 combination from Raijin, just a ton of damage off of that. Whereas, yes, you do have Unstable Vortex off of the hammer throw and the stun from Ratatoskr, but overall, Rival's team composition is much more focused on mobility and objective control than a team like eXcellence. eXcellence wants to taunt you and burst you every time, and have big team fighting ultimates like Raijin, like Susano, the Xbalanque assisting you in the team fight by blinding the other team. Whereas, like I mentioned, Rival, all about mobility. You've got the ultimate from Ratatoskr, being able to carry him across the map through space and time, obviously gives you a ton of mobility. Vamana, excellent rotation ability, one of the highest, tied for the highest movement speed in the game. So he's going to be able to out-rotate Tier in theory. So again, mobility is the key for Rival here.
Who's he tied with?
I don't remember. I just know that he's tied with someone. I just can't remember who it is.
It's okay. Tweet it out later. Rival making rotations, starting to put some words down on the gold for you. That's going to be the big objective here. And it's kind of the same story we see every game. We're going to start seeing rotations, ward fights, and then eventually bigger fights that stem and when we see a team start to really take an advantage.
And that's okay for both teams right now because both teams have a significant late game carry, both in the ADC role. It's Xbalanque on the side of eXcellence, and it's Freya on the side of Rival. Both of these characters want to get into the later game. They don't want to be fighting at 6-7 minutes. They want to be fighting at 26, 27 minutes whenever they've got items and levels online. So both of these teams are willing to play a patient game right now, except it looks like they want to go into mid.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of action coming out from Zenborne, and then the ultimate coming through. Dvizes gonna take a lot of damage with the Tier, but Maloaise is gonna get the last hit. Zenborne forcing out the dragon, however, trying to take down the tier and punish him for it, but the Taiko drums coming through. No real kill potential just yet, and now Team Rival have a chance to go ahead and turn it back on their heads.
Zenborne wants to go back in, but it looks like eXcellence gonna be able to disengage, and Dvizes just using the purification a little bit too early there. Still have the ultimate available. In that scenario, you don't even want to. Oh, Zenborne's in a ton of trouble. Transforms at the wrong time. Maloaise wants to chase him down. His team's on the right-hand Harpies. They're not even giving him any support. Luckily, he is able to get out, but
barely. That
barely.
was close.
Very close. So yeah, Dvizes there using the purification instead of probably just using the ultimate to try and get himself out of danger, because then he comes down to the bottom right-hand Harpies. A great rotation coming in from Predators, just meets him right at the tower's edge. Fearlesses him into his tower, yes, but it was just too much damage for him to handle.
Mid-Harpy fight, gonna get a little bit of damage onto Turtle there, but tanky Athena don't care quite yet. No big deal. Ratatoskr isn't a threat just yet to Athena.
No, and just because he does, the only thing that Ratatoskr has going for him at this point up against Athena, now that she has those guard boots finished, is that his 2 does strip protection. So that is a good thing that he can use to try and punch through that significant armor that Athena already has at the 9-minute mark. But that Mark of the Vanguard gonna do some help to alleviate that, because it is it's small ticks. It's a bunch of small ticks of damage that strip those protections, and Mark of the Vanguard works wonders against abilities like that. Small ticks of damage, taking 5 damage off every single one of those ticks from the Mark of the Vanguard passive, extremely helpful.
eXcellence bundled around the Gold Fury, putting down their wards. How important is vision for eXcellence, considering how mobile Team Rival is?
Very, very important, because if you don't have one ward on the left-hand side, all of a sudden you're eating a Janus ult with 2 people coming on through. If you do have wards, you can see the Janus portals appearing on the map, even if your teammates aren't able to call it out, they don't see it coming. You, if you're paying attention to the mini-map, should be able to see those Janus portals coming through, so it can definitely give you a ton of information, even against a team that can rotate as quickly as Rivals can.
3v2 in the mid lane, no fight yet. Zenborne does not want to pick this out, especially until Rapio gets here, but a little bit of a boxing fight over in the duo lane. Farleez taking a bit of splash damage coming out from Atonement, but gonna be able to get away just fine. Not gonna see too much action out of these guys yet. It's gonna be the level 14, level 15 when we start seeing these big Gold Fury fights, so we're gonna see that ADC participation and the ADC damage.
Once they both need one more item completed. Yeah, Freya needs to finish her boots as well, but both of these characters want that 3rd item. For Xbalanque, probably going to be an Aussie, something that can give him a little bit of lifesteal and extra penetration. And for Freya, it's probably going to be Telkines or Demonic Grip. It's going to be some sort of attack speed boost that augments your attack speed and how much damage your auto attacks are doing overall, whether it be Telkines adding an extra 45 damage, or Demonic Grip adding Protection Shred as you hit auto attack. So both of those characters, once they get that 3rd item online, that's when they're going to really want to start boxing each other, because that's when their kill potential comes.
Predators almost picked an incorrect fight, rotating over, hearing some action over at the buff, wanted to try and steal it, but there were 3. He goes around the other side and then gets chased back by Vamana. Smart play though, not getting aggressive, picking your battles wisely.
Just sniffing it out, seeing if maybe Rival isn't on time, but I expect no less from the #1 seed in EU right now.
I mean, they're sitting nice and happy, but here comes the Xbalanque ultimate. Not going to be able to find a stun. Instead, here comes the dragon as well. But Dvizes is going to be able to get around with the hot portal. The Lawbringer not going to be able to connect, but Maloaise in the backline going to be able to connect with only 1 with that ultimate. Rapio can't chase down the Susano, and instead Zenborne and Gnome going to stop the aggression on the rest of eXcellence.
It looks like Rival's not done yet. They're looking at the speed buff, but eXcellence doesn't want to give it up. Nice double taunt. Rapio's in a ton of trouble trying to get out. There's the ultimate from Vamana up into the Taiko drums. 50-meter fly bursts him down.
Bursts him down with the Taiko drums. I didn't expect him to go away that quickly, but that did buy enough time for Zenborne to come out of the ultimate, but not enough time for Rapio to get away. Predators able to sniff him out.
Predators has had an excellent match thus far, being able to rotate that time, just barely missing killing Dvizes, able to force him out of the fight and force him to use his ultimate, and they're picking up Rapio on the back end, sitting at 1-0-2.
Look at the rotation coming out from eXcellence, going down to the enemy blue buff, taking that very quickly in a pack of 3. We're going to start seeing these packs form up just so nobody gets picked off one by one.
And that's what you have to do whenever you're up against a really mobile composition, because if you're by yourself, and Dvizes and Rapio see you, you can just get drop shipped on. 2 people all of a sudden out of nowhere whenever you're walking in the enemy jungle is probably going to get you killed. So grouping up is definitely the best option for eXcellence to fight up against that strategy.
Turtle doesn't have too much to worry about, especially with that almost fight, because Zenborne had no mana. He had mana enough for 1 jump. He used it on the creep because he didn't want to go ahead and aggress, but Rival really want to start up this Gold Fury soon.
Just checking to see if eXcellence is awake, basically. That's are you guys paying attention? Because if not, we're gonna get a free Gold Fury. But luckily for eXcellence, they sniff it out and are able to stop that. Rival do not want to pull that Gold Fury and force a full 5-on-5 fight right now. We saw what happened in that little skirmish on the right-hand side. eXcellence's team comp just doing a little bit more right now as far as team damage goes. And so they want to wait until this Freya can kind of join the fights and be the impact that they need her to be.
That may be the case, but how come we only see about a 1K lead coming out from eXcellence when it comes to the gold?
It's because Rival's farming extremely well. We've seen Rapio be on time for the speed buff at every opportunity that he has. Atonement's going to go in on Farleez on the left-hand side, forces the Darkest of Nights, but is able to find the solo. Atonement, that is really, really big for him. Not only does he get that kill and get that golden experience, but he shuts down the farming from Farleez.
Yeah, but Maloaise wants to come in and try to make something out of it. Not going to find the pool, plus he has Fafnir there as well. Turtle rotates on over, but not going to find anything. Rapio able to secure his own speed buff as well, putting themselves on the map and a lot closer to the gold now.
50-meter fly gonna have to jump over because of the pathing from Rapio here, and it looks like the Gold Fury is being started yet again. Here's the ultimate from Zenborne. They're trying to force this.
Immediately, gonna have a nice 2-man taunt coming out from Turtle, but Rapio and Gnome gonna dish out the damage, but then turn and dish it out on the Gold Fury. They don't want to have this go for too long. The Typhoon coming through, and Rival gonna be able to secure it for themselves, but Fly taking out Atonement, Predators taking out Dvizes, and now Turtle. Looks like it's gonna be a nice, tasty snack, but Zenborne needs to get out soon. His dragon form is going to disappear.
Rapio up into the air, chasing down 50-meter fly in the mid lane, and there it is, Zenborne coming out of the dragon, but Predator's Fearless is too early. He's rooted in place during that transformation. If he just waited another half a second, he's able to Fearless chain him. I don't know if it would have been enough damage, but an unfortunate call there from Predators overall.
And he kept going. That was Fafnir's hammer stopping him. He wanted that kill. Instead, took a little bit of damage, getting stunned out, but Zenborne needs to just go a little bit farther. He's trying to dish out as much CC as he can and still be safe. They're trying to take out Turtle as well, who's very low in the back line, but so are Team Rival.
Great interrupt there from 50-meter fly. Stops the flurry of acorns from Rapio, which would have killed his support, but now Predators wants to go in, whooped immediately by Atonement, straight into the portal.
And he's going to be able to find it. Zenborne getting credit for the kill. I find that ironic and apt. Valkyrie's Discretion coming through, looking for Fly, forcing the Thunder Crash back into the left mid-heartbeat pit, and now Farleez dashing or jumping away as well. Rival trying to turn the aggression back onto eXcellence. They just lost a tier 1 tower, but they got the Gold Fury.
They got the Gold Fury. They got a couple kills as well. Rival sitting very pretty right now. Freya's farming extremely well, up 500 gold onto that Xbalanque. Has that 3rd item done, like we mentioned, is so important for her. It looks like Maloaise wants to come in and steal this red buff, but it's a little bit too late. But he should be able to get some free poke on her Dvizes here.
Might be more than free poke, forcing out the purification as well. Typhoon coming through, the knock-up, and Maloaise going to take Dvizes. Rapio wasn't there with them. Nobody was there.
He must have used his portal to get in towards the red buff, because he didn't look like he had the portal available. Used it through space and time to try to get to that fight in the mid lane while eXcellence was taking down that tier 1 tower, so nowhere to go. Really, really late on that purification, though. If you're going to purify there, you've got to do it earlier. You have to make that decision significantly earlier than that, because now he dies and the purification's on cooldown for a significantly longer amount of time.
And it's a bit of a miscommunication coming out, because if they had known that his portal had been down, they would have made that a fight instead. They just assumed, yeah, Janus going to be able to get away. So a little bit of growing pangs coming out from Rival, but 3 kills down, and they're still looking nice and pretty, keeping the gold close, if not a little bit above eXcellence. But Maloaise may add to that. Rapio going to jump into the tree. Yggdrasil come on down through the Cosmos, waiting to crash down onto Maloaise. Going to be a little bit off the mark, and now it's going to be that much harder to lock down the Susano, but he is going to be able to do it.
Uses the Wrath to lock him in place. Maloaise used his as well, but Predators isn't done. Looking at Rapio still. Gnome trying to peel him off. A good double taunt right into the damage from 50-meter fly. Zenborne has to transform.
And the Fafnir coming through the big dragon. Taiko Drum's gonna keep Dvizes in place with the taunt, and then Fly gonna be able to get that kill, but now he's gonna get eradicated himself. Rapio taking credit for that beautiful two-man. Fearless, though, trying to chase down the rat.
Just not enough damage here. Now Mr. Turtle trying to finish off Rapio. That shield wall is gonna be enough with the auto attacks. Rapio falls. Now Predator's pushing Zenborne into the tower. Mr. Turtle's gonna fall to Gnome on the side, and oh no, Xbalanque is all the way in solo lane?
Yeah, Xbalanque rotated with the call from eXcellence to try and wipe the rest of this up. Gnome and Zenborne, the only ones left in this fight, but now we see Freya crossing through the mid lane, and then you see her go ahead and go right back because the fight's already over.
The fight's already over, and she's just looking for extra farm to pick up. Zenborne, another great Fearless from Predators. He could be in trouble here. Farleez putting out as much damage as he can, but with those Ninja Tap Eye, just not hitting as hard as he would like.
Predator's going to fall to the tower shot. Gnome getting credit for the kill. Zenborne is still alive, and Farleez stuck between the two towers. Gnome, a little tanky, gonna be able to get a little bit of damage. Now Dvizes comes back from death, forces out the Sanctuary and the Athena ultimate.
Now Athena's just gonna have to tank up this tower for him as he walks out. Mr. Turtle trying to catch up to Gnome here, just gonna be able to secure this kill. It is gonna go to Farleez. Good job there by Maloaise, allowing his Xbalanque to get that kill. Those oh so important stacks on Xbalanque's passive. Now an extra 5 power in the pocket because of that kill for Farleez.
And that was his first one. He's level 16, he has plenty of room. He's a late game god. He's gonna be able to continue just to build himself up and find these kills as these big objectives go, but that was a long fight.
Really, really long fight, and we saw Atonement be able to get a ton of farm on that left-hand side, now sitting 300 gold up and an extra level as well. Didn't rotate to that fight. Farleez was able to pick up a kill. If he wasn't able to pick up that kill, that would have been really, really bad for them.
So who won that? That was so long. Who won that?
Tough to say. Overall, probably Rival. I mean, we see the golden experience be just about the same, but at the end of the day, it was Atonement getting an extra amount of farm on that left-hand side, as well as forcing both relics away from Farleez. Yes, he was able to pick up that kill, but now for the next minute and a half, he's fairly vulnerable up against the mobility from Rival. I'd like to see Rapio stay on that left-hand side and look to gank him immediately, try and keep him down as much as possible.
Well, 19 minutes and 10 seconds into the game, 7-9, read the kills. Team Rival versus eXcellence. eXcellence showing great signs of life right now, keeping Team Rival on their toes.
And that's what you need to do. You know, eXcellence sitting in third place right now, not having the start to the split that they would have hoped, but still in a good spot to try and compete here, ending towards the back end of the online stages and looking much better up against Rival here. Now, to be fair, Rival is playing with a sub, and we have not seen the impact from the mid laner that we are used to when we watch Rival. Dvizes is doing his best, but 0-4-2 right now at the very bottom of the player damage charts. That we can assume that that's not where Watson would be.
Maloaise went to get a little bit of damage onto Atonement, took 3 shots, and just got out. He didn't want any part of that. Rapio forced into the ultimate, getting taunted back. eXcellence are sniffing out this Gold Fury fight, and now we might not even be able to see it. Gold Fury going to be leashed. Mr. Turtle going to be on the receiving end of some pain, now leashing it back, but meanwhile in the backline, Atonement forcing out that ultimate, trying to find the last couple of hits, instead not going to find it through space and time, coming through just to get the team out, or anybody else that wants to come back in. Dvizes uses the Sanctuary but can't get out. Fly through the wall with the Taiko drums.
Now Zenborne gonna be able to pick up Fly in underneath the mid tower. Atonement here just trying to fight off Predators and Maloaise. Where's Rapio? He stopped to do back camp instead of coming to this fight. Atonement may fall here. No help available to him. Rapio is finally here, but the fight's basically over.
Yeah, Rapio, I mean, he can clean up maybe 1, maybe 2. Turtle would be a nice addition, but Predators trying to keep him away as long as possible. Rapio is going to find Turtle, but now Maloaise is here, and this isn't really a fight they want to take. Gnome rotating back over as well, but at this point, it's going to be a beautiful 3-man Fearless into Predators. Going to be able to find Rapio. So much damage being dished out from Farleez as well. They're chasing it. They want to keep Zenborne down. And since Zenborne didn't continue forward into the safety of the Phoenix, he's going to fall here.
Zenborne probably should. The missed Fearless from Predators, though, he might not be able to, and it looks like Farleez just was way too greedy there. There's no reason to chase that down. If he's going to die, if Zenborne's going to die, it's going to be to Predators. Let him get that kill. I know you want to get those extra passive stacks, but it's not worth you dying. There he falls down again, his second death.
Second death, but Maloaise may find a death of his own. Gnome trying to lock him down, but the knockup from the Typhoon going to save him a little bit of time. Fly is here now as well, and Gnome cannot stand up to that damage.
Great juke, able to dodge away the Thunder Crash. That Thunder Crash would have held him in place long enough for Athena to crash down, which would have spelled the third death for Vamana, but instead sniffs it out, is able to get back into the jungle away from them. And Gnome doing his best right now for Rival, sitting on top of the damage charts. This game has been all solo laners. Predator is just multi-man fearless after multi-man fearless, looking very, very strong. He's been the dictator of the fights for eXcellence, as well as 50-meter fly, sitting at 4-2-1. Went for this Divine Ruin, which I do not understand this pickup really at all. The only reason that I could see it being picked up is to try and burst down the Vamana, but you're a burst character. You're a big damage mage. Let's try and get those big kills like we've seen. Yeah, his ultimate's doing a ton of damage, and he's got almost 10k damage overall, but he could be doing so much more. Divine Ruin, more of a utility item than a damage item. I would have liked to see that picked up much later in his build than earlier.
Rapio and Zenborne don't want to go against this 2v3 currently. eXcellence keeping it in a nice pack and starting to rotate over to the left side, not even to the Gold Fury. So now you can see the call coming out from Rival. Atonement trying to get away, but he's going to have to stop momentarily. That's going to be enough for Maloaise to get the Storm onto him, force out the Sanctuary, and now the fight can begin in the backline. Almost barely missing that. Instead, Dvizes is going to get taunted back into the shield wall.
Dvizes is probably going to, he has to use his Sanctuary and his Purification, still trying to get out, getting away from Mr. Turtle, but here's the teleport in from Predators. Dvizes is going to fall here to Predators. Rapio still trying to chase down Farleez on the left-hand side. There's the Purification to jump in from Zenborne, but 50-meter flies up in the Taiko drums, doing tons of damage.
The Taiko drum's going to be able to taunt them through. Zenborne going to be able to find Farleez in the tower, and now Atonement trying to get away, but Predators, we've seen just how dedicated he is to find these kills. Meanwhile, Gnome looking for Turtle, looking for 50-meter fly, keeping them out of the backline fight. Zenborne has precious time to get away.
Great peel there from Zenborne to try and get Gnome out, or excuse me, Atonement out as he does. Rapio's going to fall here to 50-meter fly. Gnome is going to pick up Mr. Turtle on the back end, but I don't know if that's worth it. I mean, that's a support for your level 18 jungler right now. I don't like the call to dive there.
No, but it was a 2-for-3 trade. Essentially, eXcellence came out on top of that. Even though the gold is still in favor of Team Rival, Zenborne and Predators still going at it.
Zenborne clearly just wants to fight all the time, and Predators, no qualms about that from him, always willing to take that fight. Predator's sitting at level 20 already, both he and Gnome all the way up at level 20, both still on top of the damage charts there. 50-meter fly had a great ult underneath that tier 1 tower on the left-hand side, taunting in 3 members, just able to keep them locked in place, taking that tower damage for a long period of time. Really, really great fight from him that time.
I tell you what, though, I like to try to think ahead of what I'm going to talk about, and I wanted to talk about Xbalanque rising up in the damage charts, because earlier on we didn't really see him, but now we didn't really see Freya either, and now she's on top. I mean, on top of him at least.
That's what we were expecting, though. This is whenever they get those 3rd and 4th items, we're getting to 25 minutes now. This is where we expect them to start to rise up through those damage charts, and that's exactly what we've seen. Atonement had a really good job of getting out of that last fight, avoiding the Lawbringer from tier thanks to the sprint out of Zenborne, and then immediately turning around and putting out the damage to keep Predators off of him. Good fight from Atonement, able to get out last time, and it all started, that whole fight started because they tried to go on him in the left-hand lane. As long as he can stay safe on this left-hand side, it's going to spell good things for Rival.
Look at how much Atonement chunks down Farleez with 1 hit. That was 3 hits, and Farleez is sitting very low. Good taunt coming out from Atonement, though. Maybe pushed up a little too far. Can't pulse himself out of this. Instead, using the Sanctuary and the Valkyrie's discretion with the ultimate, just saving time and then getting through the portal to the rest of the team.
Very good ult that time from Dvizes, giving Atonement a way out. Now Farleez forced to use Sanctuary. 3-man taunt, though. Dvizes is going to pick up Farleez and hit another good unstable Vortex.
Yep, and Turtle in the backline, he has nobody to help him out. So Maloaise rotates over, but it's just Zenborne. There's 2 members of eXcellence over in the jungle. 4-man pack coming out from Rival. They want to put pressure onto this tier 1. and I think they're gonna do it, but nice blink coming out from Predators, and now he's getting channeled by the Athena ultimate, getting chunk damage if he wasn't using the Sanctuary, but the 4-man taunt into the shield wall, Fly coming through, gonna find one, Dvizes has fallen.
Now it's gonna be Zenborne looked at, the Typhoon's gonna miss, Gnome's all alone, amounting 4 people of eXcellence, trying to do his best to just do as much damage as possible. Atonement is back and putting out as much as he can. Mr. Turtle falling very fast. Look at the damage coming out of Freya.
Freya just absolutely chunky. Gnome can't join the fight just yet. Instead, trying to turn around the corner, but Rapio going to be able to lock out Fly with one more hit, going to be able to find it. Now he just needs to get out before Maloaise takes him for a prize.
Oh, he's going to kill him! What a play from
Nice.
Rapio, using the Wrath Stun, locking Maloaise in place, waiting for his cooldowns. What a sick 2v1 there from Rapio.
We haven't seen a lot of objectives, so, I mean, we haven't seen a lot of objective play, so instead, we've seen Rapio use this Wrath to stun the people out. You get at least a second just of them doing absolutely nothing. If you're not going for objectives, use your relics.
He's used that multiple times just to get the stuns. Atonement wants to still go aggressive. It's a 2v3 on this left-hand side, trying to push down Predators, who is low on mana right now, but still a little bit risky. The through space and time is on the way from Dvizes. Just not there. Just not there at all.
No, and at that point, eXcellence have already scattered. They're split up. They don't want to take this fight, especially when they saw the Coerce come onto Freya. That's going to be absolutely disgusting if they get multiple pulses coming out from Atonement. Instead, they're going to turn their sights over to the Gold Fury, which is falling very fast. Predators is here. Turtle going to get a nice taunt into the shield wall. Still so much damage, and a beautiful 2-man Fearless going to get 2 people out of the match.
Just trying to delay the Gold Fury push here from rival Mr. Turtle, in a ton of trouble, trying to get out as best he can. The Valkyrie Discretion from Atonement was used, and now Maloaise and 50-meter Fly are here to contest.
Contest they shall, but they're sitting off on the back line. They're looking for the right opportunity to come in, but now all 5 members of Rival are here and not looking too low when it comes to HP. The only one is Gnome, and he can heal back up if they bring out the big baby.
Mana is a little bit low on Atonement and Zenborne. Here's the blink in from Predators, misses that Fearless, and now Atonement just going to try and gas pedal him down. Look at the damage going in. Rapio finds Farleez on the left-hand side as Dvizes finishes off Predators.
And they're taking out the big heavy hitters that they don't want to deal with. 3 members of eXcellence are down, and instead they're just going to turn their sights onto Maloaise. Gnome coming around the corner, 50-meter Fly, can't do anything but throw from the back. Rapio gonna get annihilated coming out with the Thunder Crash. Fly gonna get that kill, but still he can't do anything. He has no teammates available.
It's just him trying to defend against this tier 2 tower on the left-hand side. Mr. Turtle has just respawned, however, does have the Defender of Olympus available. Rival should probably recognize that and just back up and go to farm, which is exactly what they're doing. A long Gold Fury bait there, lasting almost 3 full minutes, but Rival comes out on top now, 4,000 gold in the lead. They've got multiple level 20s on their side, the Jungler, the Soul Laner, and the Hunter, all sitting at the maximum level, whereas only Predators and 50-meter Fly on the side for eXcellence have hit that level cap.
The real casualty in this match is the wacky wavy inflatable arm tube, man.
They love that ward, don't they?
I love that ward too. And the ward fights, I just feel so bad every time they take it down, but vision is important, especially with how slippery Rival are.
Let me make something explicitly clear to you, Tiger. Boxcat ward is the clear best ward in the game, and there is no reason to use any other ward ever. Shoutouts to Uzi.
Shoutouts to Uzi.
Enough said.
Indeed. 29 minutes, 48 seconds, 20-17. This game has been so action-packed. There have been so many kills, and Team Rival only have a 4,000 gold lead.
Yeah,
and that's
30
on the back of Gold Furies.
37 kills in 30 minutes. You're right, action-packed is the right word for it, and it's all been centered around the damage now late game coming out of Atonement, and the damage from 50-meter Fly and Predators keeping eXcellence in this game. It's really been those two, along with the great taunts from Mr. Turtle, that have been keeping eXcellence in these fights. We need to see more coming out of Farleez. He's 1-5-2, just finished off the Fatalis so that he can try and box better with Atonement on that Freya, but he needs to be doing more damage in these team fights as well. Maloaise doing a good job of being a disruptor, but still sitting a little bit too low on those player damage charts overall.
Gold Fury started up, but Atonement, at that point, just messing around, checking for signs of life from eXcellence like they were doing earlier, but Farleez taking so much damage, and Rapio wants to keep the chase going, even though with the ultimate coming through, gonna pop that Sanctuary. Rapio was nowhere near, however. Through space and time, gonna rip through half the team, but not enough to take anybody down. Instead, eXcellence still grouped up very nice. 2-man knockout coming out from the Typhoon, but the Dragon has arrived. Nice 3-man pull coming out. Atonement using the Valkyrie's discretion to try to pop as much damage as possible.
Atonement's still very healthy right now, and that's a bad sign for eXcellence. Predators wants to go in, the Defender of Olympus on top of him. Great Fearless, but Purified away at the perfect time from Atonement, negates the damage coming in from Defender of Olympus. Dvizes finds a good portal, and now Mr. Turtle's in a ton of trouble, gonna fall to Atonement.
Atonement just dishing out the damage, but so is Farleez, able to take out Rapio. Zenborne trying to chase down Peel for Atonement, but at this point, Predators, once he has you in his sights, you're not getting out, but Fly coming through with the Taiko drums once again, using that taunt to get people forward, get them back into the fight, even if they're trying to get out. Thunder Crash back into the backline, while Farleez just using the jump to get out. He's trying to take down Dvizes, who at this point getting absolutely chunked, but one unstable Vortex takes him out.
50-meter fly falls there to Dvizes. Maloaise cleans up the Janus player for Team Rival, and now it is a 3-for-3. Maloaise dove it underneath the tier 1 tower. Gnome just wants to get this gold for his team. He is able to find it. Still about a 4,000 gold lead. Again, 3-for-3, basically even there. No real spikes in the gold or experience graphs.
And I mean, as time goes on, everybody's 20 on Team Rival except for Zenborne. Almost everybody is 20 except for the jungler and the Athena coming out from eXcellence. Maloaise and Turtle falling a little bit behind, but when we get to the next team fight, more than likely, they're going to be a lot closer, and experience isn't going to matter here in a couple of minutes.
You're right. Experience is about a minute or two away from being completely irrelevant in this game, and we just need to see one. Here's the game plan for Team Rival. Allow Atonement to just keep on gas pedaling, giving him that coerce buff, and letting him tear through the tanky members of eXcellence, or the squishy members. It doesn't really matter. Atonement's going to tear through anyone that's right in front of him, and you have to let Dvizes try and stay alive, move your team around. He's using these portals very aggressively, where I'd like to see him use them defensively. Let's try and get Atonement out of danger, use those portals on the wall to move him around and keep him out. Rapio going extremely deep in back-to-back fights. Let's use those portals to try and get him out. We saw the through space and time being used on the left-hand side, which Rapio used to kind of disengage, but overall, I'd like to see more of a utility sort of style from Dvizes, because the damage output from him just isn't there right now. He's still sitting at the bottom of the damage charts, 33 minutes in. It's time to stop trying to make plays with through space and time. Yes, you could get lucky, but let's use it let's play it like a utility mage. Let's just try and support the team if the damage isn't going to be there from him.
So we're 33 minutes in. If any team had an early game comp to try and work on, that's already gone. Not talking about Farleez and Atonement, who has the better late game composition, because they both have a hyper carry?
Raijin is going to do more for you in the late game. Hold on, that thought is two-man taunt on the right-hand side on the Gnome, and Rapio able to force out Maloaise, who had to use the ultimate as well as use all of his mana, gonna be forced back to base. But overall, the late game potential is overall in Rival's favor, but just because of how much better Atonement is playing this game than Farleez at this moment. However, if you look at the overall team composition, taking how Farleez and Atonement have been playing completely out of the equation, I would have to give it to eXcellence, just because the Raijin late game damage is much more effective than Janus's.
Atonement dishing out the damage, but the juke shoes are going to be real when it comes to the tier. Rapio forced into the Cosmos just to avoid some damage and avoid a fight that nobody wanted to take. Zenborne and Atonement were rotating by it. Instead, we're not going to see that ult used as a disengage, instead to get everybody else back into the fight.
I don't know what that ult was used for, Tiger.
I'm trying to legitimize it.
I don't know what it was used for. Maybe he saw Rapio in trouble and there was no communication, that he was just going to go up and use his ult. But now this really hurts the Gold Fury contention for Rival. Having that through space and time to get your whole team in there to contest is really, really strong. With that not available, it's going to be eXcellence looking at it.
The nice whoop to leash the Gold Fury. Absolutely fantastic. Farleez is going to be able to punish Atonement for it, but at that point, you can't erase that. That was absolutely beautiful. Lawbringer over the camp just to try to take out Dvizes, looking for the Fearless, not going to be able to find it. Instead, eXcellence pushing them back towards the mid tower here. Zenborne trying to dish out as much damage as he can, but there's nobody here to follow up. Gnome now finally joining the fight.
Atonement just went way too ham there. He gets the nice double whoop on the Gold Fury, leashes it as you mentioned, and then decides that I can just go in 1v5. Had both relics and had tried to go use the ultimate, but was just too late. Now Gnome chasing very deep, trying to get Farleez, taking a lot of damage, but dishing out a lot in return. There's the big baby, trying to stomp him down.
Yeah, but the through space and time coming through. Taiko drums dishing a lot of damage, and Gnome not going to be able to follow up. Nice Fearless. Dvizes is going to be taking a lot of damage, but Maloaise is the main target, and Rapio with the taunt, not going to be able to keep up the chase. Beautiful blink coming out from Predators, and that's going to be a kill, but Rapio finding one as well.
Predators has just been ruining Dvizes' life right now.
You ain't kidding.
It's really been tough for him overall, and I totally understand that. I've been there a million times. Just having the solo laner be sitting on you all fight all the time, and that really should not be happening overall as Janus.
As, you know, going back to the pro playing days, when a team has a sub, is it a legitimate strat to just go and give them as much problems as possible?
Yeah, of course. They're not going to be as in tune, you know, with how their team is playing, and they're not going to have the same level of communication, most likely. Just the comfort level won't be there that'll allow them to survive and deal out the damage that your normal starter would. I mean, they're a starter for a reason most of the time anyways. So it definitely is a strategy to feed on them and just kind of use them as, you know, basically free golden experience for you. And Predators just has that giant target on Dvizes' back, and you can see it 3, 9, and 6 right now. Though he did pass Athena in damage, so we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, we're definitely getting somewhere, and the utility of his kit kind of makes up for the damage that he has been lacking thus far. But now hitting level 20, even though he's 3, 9, and 6, his items are almost finished. He's still going to be hitting like a truck, and I mean, now he's got other items that aren't the boots.
Very true. He does have items that aren't the boots. Went for the Book of Thoth into the Chronos Pendant, picking up some pen, and now the extra damage from Ratatoskr. I'm assuming that's going to be a Soul Reaver. It has to be a Soul Reaver. It's the only option that he can go with Soul Reliquary, having the Book of Thoth finished. So just going to be looking to burst someone down, and that always is a possibility as Janus. We've seen him try and make some plays through space and time. They've all been off the mark, but it only takes one time to, say, delete a full health soul up against Soar and win that set. You know what I mean? It's just one through space and time with Soul Reaver completed can absolutely one-shot a squishy member. And if Dvizes can find that and win his team a fight, the low player damage can all be forgotten.
Both big objectives are available, which means everybody's on the right side of the map, but Rapio taking a lot of damage, forced to already dash out, and Farleez has his number. Atonement trying to keep the peel, push out the damage, and gonna be able to find it. Farleez getting absolutely melted. Atonement already used the Purification, already used the Sanctuary. Meanwhile, Gnome taking out Fly in the backline at the tower fight. Atonement just trying to use this portal to get away, because Predators not only has Dvizes' number, but also his.
Now Maloaise is trying to get away from Gnome, the Coerce buff on top of him, but he's not going to be able to chase down that extremely mobile Susano. Dvizes trying to get some extra poke off. A little bit risky, but able to get through the portal just okay. Zenborne transforms underneath the tier 2 tower, but Gnome doesn't really care. Totally willing to tank this up. Sitting very, very, very tanky on that Vamana.
Now we're starting to see a little bit of a lead coming out from Rival, especially now that they're comfortable taking this tier 2 tower, splitting their attentions for this fire giant. It's already fallen down. There's nobody nearby to try and take anything. Whether or not they knew it was happening, Fire Giant is on all members of Team Rival.
So Rapio, that whole fight started at the top right-hand Harpies whenever Mr. Turtle got a multi-man taunt. Rapio gets fearless up into the wall, and he's very, very low. And then Farleez sees blood. He just wants to get that kill onto Rapio. So he uses the Rising Jaguar in very aggressively. And Atonement was up in the Valkyrie's discretion trying to peel for himself, realizes that Farleez is completely out of position, and just pounds him with the Valkyrie's discretion shots. There was a great Unstable Vortex from Dvizes using that extra damage that he has now that chunks him heavily, but at the end of the day, Farleez still had both relics available, still had the Sanctuary. Yes, he went aggressive, but still had options to get out and maybe bait Rival into a bad spot. Instead, dies for free, basically, and then it just falls apart there from eXcellence. The team fight goes entirely the way of Rival, and then they pick up the Gold Fury and a tier 2 tower in middle on the back end, and all of a sudden, what was a very, very close game is significantly in Rival's favor.
These fights have been going in Rival's favor, even though they've been going on for so long. That was not the only fight that has happened in massive length over on the right side of the map, but we're 40 minutes and 18 seconds in. When you take a look at the graphs, you're gonna see the dips and the dips and the rises, but it's all for the most part been in Rival's favor, and now they've really found that foothold to start trying to close out the game. The tier 2 tower falling down on the left side. The last one remaining is the solo tier 2.
And they're gonna it looks like Rival wants to pick that up as well, just knocking all the towers down before they even look at the Phoenixes. But at this point in the game, everyone on both teams is completely full build. There's not a whole lot of reason to be knocking down towers outside of the fact that it takes away health and protections and damage from the enemy Titan. So I would have really preferred to see Rival push a Phoenix down with this, because the tower doesn't really mean a whole lot. You can see eXcellence doesn't really care. They're willing to completely give it up right away. And this Fire Giant isn't really paying too many dividends for Rival at this point. They need to be pushing down a Phoenix with this buff.
It's probably just a safety concern. eXcellence have been putting up a fantastic fight throughout the entirety of this game. The last thing they want to do, like we mentioned in previous games yesterday, they don't want to choke. They don't want to give eXcellence a foothold. They don't want to come in, get a little cocky, to only take down one Phoenix, and then try to go for this Titan when things that you could have made your life easier with, like these towers, are still available.
No, but I would have liked to see them go for multiple Phoenixes. Instead, now they're probably only going to have time for one Phoenix Siege here. Rapio getting poked out on the left-hand side, but you mentioned that they don't want to, give a foothold to eXcellence, but even if they were to lose 3 to 4 members, look at how many towers they still have up. There's no way eXcellence could rush the Titan.
Atonement dishing out the damage onto the Phoenix, but then gets taunted out and then forced into the ultimate with the Typhoon. Not going to be able to get too much damage out, but Atonement. Predators has the number, gonna get whooped up, and now the Phoenix, it's still alive, but barely. It's only gonna now just fall with one more hit. Gnome gonna be able to get out. Zenborne trying to peel, but eXcellence definitely trying to punish them for it. Gnome barely has any health. Dvizes barely has any health, and Zenborne may get pinched out here because he's not gonna be able to get out of he's gonna have to transform here soon.
Zenborne, the sacrifice for that middle Phoenix, definitely worth it to get that mid Phoenix for your support. And like I mentioned, it's not like eXcellence is gonna be able to get a whole lot off of this. Yes, they can get some towers down, but just like it was for Rival, the tower's not as important right now. Everyone has 6 slotted, even the supports. You don't have to worry about gold anymore. It's not a big deal, so it's not a huge deal to lose these towers.
Predators chased all the way from the Phoenix, all the way to the tower, used his ultimate to get away, and just they want blood so bad. It's mainly Predators. Predators wants to fight.
Predators did a great job of keeping Atonement off the Phoenix in that last fight. Immediately dove him, didn't want to let him be comfortable in that fight whatsoever. We saw Zenborne immediately have to turn around and make sure Atonement was able to get out.
Able to find them backing. Farleez is going to take a bit of damage, but Turtle trying to throw up the shield while through space and time coming through, but the jump going to keep him out of the damage. They're still trying to lock him down. Rapio not able to find the stun, but Gnome going to find it with the big baby.
And now Mr. Turtle may fall as well. Good whoop from Atonement, locks him in place. Gnome stomps him down with the Goomba Stomp, and now that's 2 down for eXcellence. The Fire Giant is gone for Rival. Look at the damage though, 50-meter fly, almost just one-shot Atonement.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not a good thing. You need to get rid of Fly before Atonement can really just let loose on the rest of these Phoenixes, the rest of these objectives. And then you can go for the Titan, but right now you need to keep Atonement alive. I feel like Atonement is one of the keys to victory.
Without a doubt, he's on top of the player damage right now. He's full build as Freya, which is exactly where you want them to be. He has the Rod of Tahuti online as well, just hitting for so much damage with each auto attack that he throws. And now they're going to look straight to the Fire Giant, falling pretty fast, 50% already.
Taking a little bit of damage. Predators is here to be an absolute nuisance like he has been the entire game. Able to push Atonement out. He knew exactly who he wanted to go for to interrupt this Fire Giant attempt. Coerce has been activated, not going to find the whoop, however, and the rest of the team going to turn their sights back to the Fire Giant. Nobody nearby, going to go to Team Rival once again.
Just can't get in there and contest. 3v5. If you lose another member or two there, you probably lose the game if you're excellent. Giving up the Fire Giant was the right call. Predator's safe enough by himself, just being so tanky and so mobile on that tier, willing to go in there, just try and do a little bit of poke damage, maybe force a relic from Freya, but the patience from Atonement was excellent, and then they're able to pick up that Fire Giant basically for free.
They're so level-headed. You talk about patience, I would have been freaking out if that had happened. When you see a tier barrel towards you, he's got so much CC, he takes you out of the fight, and then nobody can come to your aid. But just the level of play coming out from Team Rival, this is exactly why they're at the top of the charts.
They've only dropped 1 game so far this split. Now Maloaise actually looks like he may have been caught out in the left-hand lane. Rapio looking for him, comes down from the Cosmos. Maloaise 1 HP, trying to get away. Gnome chasing him down, but Maloaise is out.
Yeah, Maloaise gets out barely, but the through space and time, not gonna connect it right before he gets to the tower. Absolutely fantastic. The 5 members are here, not gonna find anybody in the taunt coming out from Turtle, and they're gonna set their sights back on this Phoenix once again.
A huge dash in though from 50-meter fly. Dvizes 1 HP, but he gets bursted down before the Sanctuary pops for Dvizes. Now Gnome trying to stomp down Turtle, getting very low. Farleez able to pick up Dvizes, but he's got no dash available. It's just him and Predators.
Oh, Predators coming around the back line, gonna blink, looking for 3, looking for blood. Rapio taking out Farleez, but now using the Lawbringer, trying to get a little bit of extra damage, but Zenborne gonna help literally burn him down.
That's gonna be the game. Rival able to take out eXcellence in a very, very contested matchup. 46 minutes it took them. Dvizes finally hitting a snipe with a through space and time, and it spelled the end for eXcellence. 46 minutes, and it was basically all Atonement and Gnome that game for Rival.
I saw the outline of Susano, yeah? The through space and time's coming here. I see him move to the side. He goes into the fountain, and it just absolutely obliterates him. That was such a pleasure to see.
I mean, even if he had gotten a couple heal ticks off, that through space and time is hitting for basically Susano's entire health bar at that point in the game, and that's the potential that a late game Janus has. On the other side, we saw the late game potential from 50-meter fly using the Raijin Thundercrash combination, almost killed 3 people instantly right away, but it was able to get bursted up in the taiko drums. That's the risk that you take whenever you go that aggressive path. Yes, you do a ton of damage, but then you're sitting in the middle of an entire team with Fire Giant, and they're swinging away.
And you